Welcome to Self-Worth Club, the podcast that empowers you to believe in yourself and your work. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, creative, or simply looking to cultivate greater self-worth, Self-Worth Club is for you. Join us each week as we empower you to believe in yourself and unlock your full potential. Hi, friends. It has been a couple of weeks since we last chatted. And that reasoning is exactly what I want to talk about today. Life has been throwing me curveball after curveball, and I am sure that some of you out there can relate. And so I thought, why not just get it all out there and use this as a way to give you advice? Because I know I'm not alone, and I need you to know that you're not alone either. So, a quick recap of what's been going on with me. I think it was like the 20th or something, like 10, 12 days ago. I was let go from my marketing management job, and it was super unexpected. I felt like, because of the circumstances, I don't want to get into super detail, that I was going to be good through January, that I was taking on actually more responsibility in the next few months, and that I had good job security. I had just recently got hired for a social media job at a 5-star hotel here in Raleigh. And so that is something that I had been searching for about 2.5, 3 months, was an extra income. And so I finally, for a week, had all of these things, and I was making plans. I talked with a business coach. We planned to start on August 1st. I made a hair appointment. I started talking to my husband about what are we going to remodel next now that we have this extra income. Just so many things. And then I got let go. And it was so unexpected. And it just felt like a slap in the face. Wow, everything finally felt like it was falling together. Now it feels like it's falling apart. And what do I do? And so on top of all of that, I had some family issues arise with my brother, and it just got so crazy. And I just want you to know that you're not alone, and I want to give you advice in all these areas and kind of show you how I'm tackling it. And even though I still feel fuzzy and I still feel like I'm in the midst of it, I know that I'm going to get through this. That belief is so important, and I want to share that with you too. And so actually I thought it would be cool to just read you a little bit of what I journaled about yesterday. And I want to give you the tip first that if you are feeling the same way, if you feel like you're just overwhelmed, you don't know which direction to move, curveballs keep getting thrown at you, I think it's a super helpful tool to journal about it. And it's something that when I'm going through it, I'm not oh my God, let me journal, it's going to help me so much. It's more of oh, is that really going to help me? Do I really need to do that? I don't know. I don't feel like it, blah, blah, blah. But when you're done, you're going to feel way more clarity than you did before. It's cool because getting all of your thoughts out on paper, dumping everything out of your head, it creates space for new thoughts, new ideas, new energy. And it really allows you to work things through with yourself way more than just thinking about it in your head. Getting it out there seriously lets you just dump and continue to let new thoughts and feelings arise. And it creates space for you to follow more of your intuition, follow your gut. And I highly recommend it. So next time, or currently, if you're feeling like this, as soon as you're done with this pod, go whip out a piece of paper, whip out your journal, and dump it all out. So I was writing about this saying okay, so 3 days before I got laid off, I went to a new moon circle and I wrote out my 6-month plan. And I felt so good about it. Do you ever have a plan? You just feel so good. It feels so aligned. You're oh my God, finally, yes, it's clicking. Everything is coming. And then it just falls apart. Like, that is life, okay? Plans are things that change, and that's just a fact. So I wrote about my 6-month intentions, all the things I wanted to do. And then yesterday I wrote this out, and I was like, so 3 days after writing my last entry about my 6-month plan and how drained I felt by my marketing job, I got let go. There's a reminder that whatever you put out in the universe, it's going to come back in some way at some point in time. And I didn't even realize how heavy I was manifesting leaving that job. It just really was sucking all the creativity from me, and I was being micromanaged to the finest detail, and never a good time. But like, yeah, I was putting it out there so often that although I had this whole plan and wanted it to be on my terms, as we always do, the universe said, all right, here you go. You're done. And yeah, I felt just so like blindsided by it. I was literally given like 4 days at first to like wrap things up and like be like done. And when we talked about it, I wound up like getting to the end of the month. But wow, yeah, it was crazy. So I'm like, yeah, 3 days after I got let go. And so everything has changed. But the important thing here is that I know deep down that this happened for me, not to me. And that is something that you need to remind yourself of too. If you're going through something hard, it's just, this is happening for you, not to you. There is a reason for this. And my reason was that I was not aligned with that anymore. I was unable to be creative in my other endeavors. It was really just weighing me down. And so although it's going to be hard to get by without that income that was paying literally all my bills, and I'm going to need to like find something to replace it, it happened for a reason. I did not need that in my life anymore. And I'm sure whatever is happening with you is happening for a reason as well. You may not see it right now, but you will in the future. And I need you to remind yourself that this is happening for you, not to you. And so, yeah, I wrote about that. And then, you know, I wrote about how it came to a screeching halt. I felt just so blindsided. I had to cancel my business coach for our August 1st start date. I had to cancel my Pilates membership. I canceled the hair appointment I made. I hopped on a flight to Fort Myers to see my sister. And those things have been chaos. I honestly, right now, I feel fuzzy and unsure of which direction to move. I felt like my path was so clear, and then this came in and smacked me, and now I'm like, all right, do I keep going with what I originally thought? And I think the answer is yes, because, you know, when you're trying to do big things and when you make big plans, like, the universe does test you, and I feel like it's testing you to see, like, do you really want this thing? Are you really going to stay steadfast in what you say you want, even when it doesn't go your way? And so that is what's making me feel like I have to see this through and I have to keep going. And something really cool that I'll get to in a sec that I wrote at the end, it just like ties that all together. And like I wrote it and I was like, oh my God. Just like mind blown moment. So yeah, I wrote, I'm ready for something solid, not to be stressed about money because obviously losing that was huge, and to be doing my own thing. I keep feeling like I'm waiting on guidance, but maybe I'm the guide. I wrote that and I was like, holy shit, maybe I'm the guide. Why am I sitting here waiting? Why do I feel like I have to hire a coach? Why do I feel like, you know, I need guidance or need other people's opinions? Like, maybe I'm the guide. Maybe you're the guide. We don't need to wait for everything to be aligned and feel perfect and for the extra income to hire that coach or whatever. Like, maybe we are supposed to figure it out and just walk ourselves through it. It's going to be a little harder, yeah, but we can do this. maybe you're the guide. Maybe I'm the guide. That just kind of was like, whoa. So yeah, I mean, I want you to know that like you're not alone. Um, and everything's happening for you, and maybe you're the guide. Maybe the person you've been waiting on is you. And I think that is super powerful to think about. The other side of this that I briefly mentioned in the beginning was this fight with my brother, the family issue. And again, I don't want to get too deep into it just for like other people's sakes, but I want you to know that it is okay to set boundaries for yourself, even when it includes family. Because although like we have, a special heart in our place, a special place in our heart for family, and we do let some extra things slide that we wouldn't with just like a friend or whoever, there comes a certain point where you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your energy. And sometimes people don't want to change, and they won't change for you, and they won't see things your way. And, that's okay. But that doesn't mean that you have to put up with it. That doesn't mean that you have to continue to be disrespected or whatever's going on in the situation. You have to protect yourself. And so I want to give you the permission to set boundaries if you need to, whether that be with family, with work, with your friends, whatever. Those are super, super important to have. And boundaries can look like setting do not disturb. They can look like straight up blocking a person. They can look like telling people that you need space when you get home from work. You need an hour to yourself to settle down, or certain things are not okay with you. You don't want to do a certain type of work anymore, or you won't work after 6 p.m. or whatever. It's totally up to you, but you have the power to set those boundaries, and I promise they will make your life so much better, and you can shift them and change them as you figure out what you want, but you have to start somewhere. And so, yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I feel better getting it all out. I hope that you took something away. I hope that you know you're not alone, and that you feel good about moving forward from whatever situation you're in. And just keep reminding yourself, this is happening for me, not to me. And you know what? I don't need to wait on anyone. I'm the guide. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.